Welcome to today's explainer. Look, if you've ever had this crystal clear vision of the exact person you want to become, but you somehow just keep falling back into those exact same old patterns, well, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're taking a pretty brilliant four-part psychological framework and transforming it into a highly actionable, totally overwhelm-free guide. We're going to close that gap between who you are right now and who you actually want to be. Okay, let's just run through our roadmap really quickly. 1. Meet your future self. 2. Create clear behavioral snapshots. 3. Master daily microsteps. 4. Shift to identity statements. And 5. Your 7-day starter guide. We are breaking down all this complex psychology into a really simple, manageable daily checklist you can literally start using today.
All right, Section 1, Meet Your Future Self. Subtitle, Overcoming the Psychological Gap. Let's start by introducing the first massive roadblock to change. It's actually this super fascinating quirk in how human brains process time and identity. So scientists call this future self discontinuity. It sounds like a mouthful, but here's what it means. Throughout human history, our brains evolved to prioritize immediate survival over long-term planning, right? Because of that, when you imagine yourself, say, 6 months or a year from now, your brain processes that future person using the exact same neural patterns it uses to think about strangers. Seriously, it naturally protects your present self while it happily sacrifices the needs of this total stranger it thinks is your future self. Think about the dynamic between present comfort and future benefit. On one hand, you've got present comfort, staying on the couch or impulsively buying that expensive gadget. On the other hand, future benefit, being in great shape or having financial security. When you skip the gym, that isn't a lack of willpower. It's actually your brain actively stealing resources from your future fit self to feed your present comfort. So the trick here is to completely reframe present discomfort. It's not a pain. It's an immediate, direct investment in your future self. Once you realize that every single choice either feeds your future self or starves them, you really just need to adopt this one powerful daily question. Which version of me am I going to prioritize right now? You see, you aren't choosing between present comfort and some abstract, distant future. You are actively choosing between two very real versions of yourself. Moving on to Section 2, Create Clear Behavioral Snapshots. Subtitle, Making Your Ideal Self Observable. So once we finally stop treating our future self like a stranger, we've got to define exactly what becoming them actually looks like in the real world. And to do that, we use behavioral snapshots. Vague goals will absolutely sabotage you. If your goal is just, I want to be successful, well, your brain has no idea what to do with that in practical terms. It needs highly specific targets to guide your daily actions and to recognize when you're actually making progress. Let's contrast a vague goal with a behavioral snapshot. Let's say you want to build public speaking skills and professional confidence. A vague goal is just, I want professional confidence. But a behavioral snapshot is concrete. It's, I am someone who speaks up with ideas in meetings, who disagrees respectfully when I have a different opinion, and who doesn't apologize for taking up space. See the difference? With a snapshot, you know exactly what choices align with your new identity throughout your whole workday. Let's look at another perfect snapshot, this time for health habits. Notice how ridiculously specific these are. Moves body for at least 30 minutes daily. Chooses nutritious foods most of the time. Gets 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Does not use food to manage stress. Boom. There is zero guesswork left for your brain. You can look at your day and immediately observe whether your behavior matched this snapshot or not. Okay, Section 3, Master Daily Microsteps. Action before motivation. Now we are getting into the action phase. But fair warning, waiting for motivation or confidence to strike before you take action, that is a total trap set by your brain's comfort protection program. This is the absolute crucial point here. You must act before you feel ready. Waiting to feel ready is just waiting for your brain to stop doing its job of protecting your current comfortable identity. It's not going to happen. You have to short-circuit that resistance by acting first, which then builds a foundation of proof that you can actually handle being this new type of person. So, how do you act before you're ready? You use the power of micro-actions. You focus on ridiculously small steps. I'm talking like just putting on your workout clothes or doing literally 5 push-ups. Because the action is so small, your brain doesn't generate that massive wall of resistance. Remember, your brain tracks consistency, not intensity. Think of these ridiculously small steps as ballots in an identity election. If you just keep casting these tiny votes day after day, eventually your brain looks at the polling data and just accepts, oh, okay, I guess this new identity is who we truly are now.
Section 4. Shift to identity statements. Building automatic consistency. To keep this momentum going for the long haul, we need a major mindset shift. Because let's face it, trying to rely on raw willpower every single day is just a guaranteed path to exhaustion. Notice the shift from effort to identity. Effort-based tasks sound like, ugh, I need to force myself to exercise today. That takes immense mental energy. But an identity statement says, I'm the type of person who takes care of their body. When a behavior becomes part of your core identity, it completely stops feeling like something you're forcing yourself to do, and it just becomes automatic. If you want to save money, try adopting this powerful mantra. I am someone who makes smart financial decisions. When you repeat this, it literally helps your brain categorize saving money not as this awful, restrictive chore, but just as a natural expression of who you already are. Now, of course, bad days are going to happen. Life gets crazy. But we can completely reframe these common daily stressors. Don't view an unexpected challenge at work or a late night as an excuse to just throw in the towel. View them as the exact moments where casting a vote for your new identity counts the absolute most. Turning difficult days into opportunities for identity growth is exactly how you prove to your brain that this new identity is incredibly stable.
Which brings us to Section 5, your 7-day starter guide, the daily habit checklist. This is where it all comes together. We are taking everything we've talked about and turning it into a highly practical, actionable blueprint you can start using today.
Here is your simple beginner's starter plan. 4 foundational steps. Step 1, define your concrete behavioral snapshot. Step 2, pick a ridiculously small micro-action you can do effortlessly. Step 3, adopt a guiding identity statement to completely replace willpower. And step 4, track your daily identity votes to build undeniable proof for your brain. But practically speaking, how do we track this without making it overly complicated? How do we actually verify our daily alignment with our future self? Well, we need a system that is simple, visual, and immediate. I highly encourage you to grab a screenshot of this right now. This is your printable one-page template for daily habit tracking over the next 7 days. It's incredibly simple. You write down your specific micro-action for the day in the middle column. Maybe it's doing 5 push-ups or speaking up just once in that morning meeting. Then, at the end of the day, you literally check off that box. Visually confirming that you have cast a vote for your new identity is exactly how you start tipping the scales in that identity election we talked about. And to go right along with that tracking chart, here is your daily self-audit checklist. Ask yourself, are my actions matching my snapshot? Am I prioritizing present comfort or investing in my future benefit? Did I cast my micro-action vote today? And am I using my identity statement instead of just brute force? Remember, these audits aren't for judging yourself harshly when you inevitably slip up. They're simply for giving your brain regular, positive confirmation that your new identity is real and getting stronger. And that brings us to the ultimate question you have to answer right now, the second this explainer ends. You've got the framework, you have your 7-day starter guide, you know that every single action is an election between who you are right now and who you want to become. So, which version of yourself are you going to vote for today?